For more than 50 years, the Boeing 747 has truly been an icon of aviation and lived up to its name as the Queen of the Skies. Long popular with airlines, pilots, and passengers, the 747 helped shape up the aviation industry as we know it, especially during the second half of the 20th century. However, with the evolution of air travel, the Boeing 747 has seen a decline in its role as more airlines opt for smaller, fuel-efficient aircraft to serve as their flagship of the 21st century. This brings up the Boeing 747-8, which is a mix of modernity and the legacy of the 747. Given the current situation of the modern aviation industry, it seems to be the last of the jumbo jets. So with that, this video will feature the history of the development and the current situation of the Boeing 747-8, the last Queen of the Skies. Prior to the development of the Boeing 747-8, Boeing debuted the predecessor of the aircraft, the Boeing 747-400 in 1989. This was during the time when the Boeing 747 still reigned supreme in aviation, and Airbus revealed their plans for a response to the aircraft from the then Airbus A3XX, which we now know as the Airbus A380 project. Looking to keep its dominance in the large aircraft category, Boeing introduced some offers to airlines like a larger 747, including an extended range version of the 747-400. However, as Boeing would correctly predict the landscape of the aviation industry down the road, it would shift its focus to the 777 and later the 787 development. Fast forward to the mid-2000s and the world was anticipating the launch of the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo, which some were actually predicting would supplant the Boeing 747. To counter the interest growing with the Airbus A380, Boeing launched the 747-8 in November of 2005. When it released the details for the 747-8, Boeing announced two versions of the aircraft. The first was a passenger version, which it called the Intercontinental. Second was the freighter, which the first orders of the aircraft were to go to cargo airlines Cargolux and Nippon Cargo. This latest version of the 747 family of aircraft would have a much larger wingspan and length, giving the aircraft some selling points for passenger and cargo capacity. Compared to its predecessor, the Dash 400, it would have a 16% higher cargo capacity, along with an increase of 50 seats for the aircraft, giving the Dash 8 Intercontinental a seat capacity of around 467. Being a newer, bigger version of the 747, it would have some new technical features for the aircraft, taken from some of the modern aircraft being built like the 787. Among the notable design features were the rake wingtips and the fly-by-wire spoilers and outboard ailerons for efficiency. Pilots would get to experience the 787 technology while keeping the 747 cockpit commonality. Pilots would also have a bathroom and rest quarters behind the flight deck door for more security. Along with integrating features on the 787 on the 747-8 in the cockpit, passengers will also see some new interesting design features for the 747-8, including large windows compared to the Dash 400, and LED lighting for more comfort. The production of the aircraft would culminate with the delivery of the first aircraft, the Boeing 747-8 freighter, to Luxembourg-based Cargolux in 2011. The Intercontinental, the passenger version of the aircraft, would later be introduced the following year in 2012 by German-based Lufthansa. Boeing had high hopes for the aircraft to take the reins and the legacy of the 747 even further, and it predicted over 900 jets with a seating of over 400 seats would be needed for the future, which the Intercontinental would fit. Along with the passenger aircraft, the freighter version would make up 34% of the world airline cargo fleet. However, during the 2000s and the 2010s, the airline industry has evolved, and not to the favor of the large jets like the Airbus A380 and the 747. So far, Boeing has received just 155 orders for the jets, with 142 aircraft delivered. Of that, a majority of them are for freighters. Compared to the overall number of 747s ordered and delivered and have served with airlines, it is a small number. In nearly a decade, there have been a handful of cargo and passenger airlines that have operated the aircraft. Among the prominent 747-8 operators include the cargo airlines Cargolux, Atlas Air, UPS, and Cathay Cargo, with UPS operating the biggest fleet of the aircraft with 28. The Intercontinental, on the other hand, is operated mainly by Air China, Lufthansa, and Korean Air. While there isn't that many passenger versions of the 747-8 operating or have been ordered, the aircraft will continue the legacy of the 747 in carrying U.S. presidents in the future when it replaces the existing 747-200s used commonly as Air Force One. While the Intercontinental will continue to serve the skies carrying the 747 name, it does so as airlines have already retired or plan to retire the remaining 747s or their Airbus A380s. These days, the aviation industry is not necessarily bigger is better, and it's more about efficiency. Airlines, for the most part, have been looking away from the 747 and instead to other aircraft like the Airbus A350, the 787s, or if they want the 400-seat plus aircraft, they would go with the 777X. Boeing is gearing up to wind down the production of 747-8s in 2022, with cargo airline Atlas Air set to be the last to receive a newly built Boeing 747-8. Beyond 2022, there will still be a handful of airlines, especially the cargo airlines, that will be operating the aircraft along with the older versions of the 747s. There will still be opportunities to take a flight with the Queen of the Skies, though those will be dwindling, especially with possible retirements of the aircraft down the road. Being a newer aircraft, the 747-8s will likely be the last of the aircraft to be retired. When that time comes, that will be the true end of the legacy and the reign of the Boeing 747-8, the Queen of the Skies. I definitely hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates on the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Thank you for watching and have a great day.